All right, hey you guys, welcome back. It's Liz. Here is the, if you saw the previous video, here is the sister journal to the one that I showed you guys yesterday. It is already both of these are already spoken for, so I'm gonna get right into it. Like I said in the other video, there's lots of similarities, and when I send this, not whoever gets it, I know who's getting it. When I send it, I'm going to send this is a piece of antique French trim. I'm going to send it with the journal in case they would like to put it on or remove it. She might want to use it somewhere else in the journal or for another project. So that'll be going with them. All right, so the closure on this one is this pretty mint green polka dot. And like I said, you know, the covers are pretty similar. Obviously not 100%, but I didn't want them perfectly matching. Yeah, I didn't want them perfectly matching, but they're good enough. It is very chunky, so I'm definitely going to tie this tight when I send it. So the same with the front, antique textiles on the front. The back I did something different, so I used this black and white polka dot fabric, and I put this pocket here with this cute tab that has like the definition of storyteller. Isn't that adorable? So, and this is a pocket. So in here I have put the rest, like I had a pile of greeting card pieces and greeting cards that I wanted to use in it that I didn't get to. It was just getting too fat. So I put them back here. It's a pretty nice deep pocket. All right, and this print is from Amity Bloom. It's just gorgeous. The pinks and the blues. Okay, so inside, I'm sorry, it's gonna kind of be funky because it's just so thick. It's going to be hard to keep the pages down. So here's the greeting card pocket on this one, and if I can figure out, does it, oh, I thought it opened. Oh no, it doesn't, because there's that foil. Okay, so which just fell back in, I think. Yeah. Okay, so this one just opens like this, and then right here. So you can do some journaling on the inside of this. Then you have a pocket back here. This piece is a gorgeous piece of another greeting card. This was really pretty and embossed. So I kind of cut this one out and put it on the inside cover. There's wallpaper, ledger in the back. The pocket has some stamps, like a sheet of those saver stamps. Is that what they're called? I forget what they're called. And here's a foiled label for her. Here's another greeting card, and I just love the bluebirds. They're just gorgeous. There's some antique wallpaper. And I left this one uncut, so she can cut that, or excuse me, glue the bottom and make it a pocket. Here's some antique French ledger that I printed on. This is a print from a digital from Ruby and Pearl from Heather's shop, and it just looks great on that ledger. Here's some antique wallpaper. Here's some vintage wallpaper. This is a belly band. This was one of my original French pieces that I scanned. And here's a tag with some antique ledger on it. There's some antique French wallpaper that I collaged. So she can write actually on the back. I didn't want to cover up the front too much because it was just, I love that dark handwriting. And this is super fragile. I don't know if you can see right where I cut it. It's even just like where the nib was writing on the paper has created a weak spot in the paper. So there's not much I can do but cover and collage with it. I cannot use it for a page. It's just too brittle. Here's another piece of mine, an antique piece that I scanned. And look at, I got a piece of, look at all these threads I got on there. I still love it. I mean, I love the imperfections. I think we all love imperfections in it, but goodness gracious. That's it. Look at, shoo. Totally missed that. But I'm still using it because I love it. I may not even rescan it. I love it anyway. Here is a wallpaper tag with some ledger. This is some antique French book page right here. And I reinforced with washi tape. Here's another little tag. It's just nice and thick. And I love doing this. I've mentioned in another video, if you have like the label stamps, I highly recommend getting some label stamps. Signet stamps, I think, was where I got my set. He has a really nice variety, but when you get any old book pages, you can use them for so much more than collaging and envelope making and tag making and stuff like that. I'm always finding passages in pages to stamp out, or my favorite way is to stamp out the chapters, and I think this one was like a little paragraph chapter header, so it kind of prefaced the rest of the chapter, I guess. Antique yearbook page. There's some antique fabric that I collage. Some more of that antique French wallpaper. Here's the double glassine pocket here. This was a Tim Holtz cutout. I'm not going to take the pictures out just because the angle I'm at, but there's a couple old photographs in here. This one's of a cute lady standing in front of a tree. And this was from a family vacation at a state park, so it's got some pretty scenery there. Some more of the vintage floral book pages. Like I said, if you're ever in a thrift shop or a bookstore and you're in the, if it's organized by section, mine is, I'm lucky that it is. There's always so many vintage books like this that you can use in so many different ways. There's some wallpaper. It's a die cut. Wallpaper. Here's a piece of mine, like a fabric sample from the, it's antique, maybe from the 40s. I don't know, it's old. Anyway, I scanned that. Here's just like I folded it in half over the page. Here's some vintage wallpaper that I collaged on. It's like, how do you forget the word collage? But I did. Anyway, I'm doing a close-up so you can see the gold in this wallpaper. It's really pretty. Here's some more antique. This is a different antique French book page. And again, this one's super nice and thin, so I did have to reinforce it. Here's some antique, it's like French ledger, but someone had written poetry in it. It's not like a ledger size, but it's nice and sturdy. And this stuff I ran through an embosser, this antique French. That's not ledger either. I think that was from another poetry book. Let's see. This is a nice thick cardstock. So she can add an extra pocket, or it's light enough to write on. And here's a pocket with some French wallpaper label cut out. I folded this piece in half. You know, a lot of wallpapers, when you fold in half, they crack and crumble. This one did pretty good. It did crack some. So I tried to fold it, you know, so you get the full rose there and the flower, so the crease wasn't in the middle of the flower. Here's a piece of antique French wallpaper. This stuff doesn't bend or crack or it creases if you crease it on purpose, but this stuff does really well. It's just, you know, it's just not laying that flat as wallpaper does. Here's some wallpaper in this pocket. And I did some collaging with washi tape and wallpaper. Here's some antique French wallpaper there. This I cut out of maybe from the 70s. It was a book about different architecture and stonework in Italy, I believe. And it's got some pretty pictures in it. Black and white. I love black and white pictures. Here's the other side of that. And this nice antique French ledger folds out. So there's some beautiful script writing. Then you got some blank space. Here's some antique French copy paper. Here's some antique French wallpaper. And on the other side's Tim Holtz. This is a nice sturdy pocket. Nice and sturdy. And inside is some ledger. Just like the other one, a nice piece of the same ledger with the stripe on it. All right. Antique wallpaper. Here's some antique wallpaper. Here's a real pretty belly band. I like this one. I love this stamp. It's unfortunate because whoever mounted the stamp, it's an Anna Griffin stamp, but whoever mounted it just a little bit crooked. So it's a wood mounted stamp. So it's almost impossible like to line up unless I take off the stamp and put it back. So it's a tad bit wonky, but actually it looks pretty good compared to the other ones I did. Here's a antique French postcard from Paris, but I just loved the script on it. If I'm not too fond of the front, I guarantee you I'll love the back. Or I may love the back, and I may love the front and not much love the back, but I usually love the backs. This is just a piece from a Tim Holtz, like cut apart. Here's some I don't know if this is antique. This is some French wallpaper. It's vintage, but I don't know if it's antique. But anyway, it's a really cool, it's flocked, but it's like it's such an odd texture, almost like a plasticky texture. You can do a lot with this stuff. This stuff's amazing. So it's a pretty medallion on that. Oh, here's some vintage gift wrap from that batch I got recently. All right, so here's another postcard with a pretty back. And it's not too bad a front. Look at that gentleman. Dapper. Here's some wallpaper right here. All right, now I didn't do anything with these two little, it's almost like miniature pockets. Figured if she wanted to, she could glue them shut or leave them open, or, you know, if she wishes to alter it anyway. She's got a little bit of wiggle room. She can do what she wants. And here's the center spread from the McCall's Needlework. I have to like double check the name of that magazine every time. This is a pretty one with women's aprons. Okay, and the pocket on the other side. This is some antique ledger. This is a cool nautical ledger. I had some in my shop not too long ago. It sold out really fast. I didn't have like a whole lot. The ledger wasn't completely full. But I did save some pieces. The handwriting is so pretty. And this is Ruby and Pearl. I think this is Ruby and Pearl, Heather. It's maybe a textile, I'm not sure. But anyway, this is one of her digitals that I collaged. And this is some book page from the 1600s. This stuff is, it feels so soft from the pages being turned so many times and read so much. It's like butter. It's really cool. Okay, here's a big old pocket. Here's some gift wrap. This came in a package I got. I think I got it from France. It was what was it? Maybe a book or something? I can't remember. But anyway, it was just so cute with the pink lacy look. And I thought it looked really good with the green. Just like two very bold colors there. So this is some antique wallpaper. This is a piece of baby ledger that I had to fold kind of wonky to get in there, but we got her in there. Okay, here's another postcard, and I trimmed off the side of it, but left, you know, majority of the writing and the postmark and stuff. Here's just a little random piece of notebook paper. This one did crack when I folded it. I didn't mean for it to, but the other side's okay, but it did crack some. Here's that piece of, it's like from a French military manuscript book that I put in a lot of my journals. It's really pretty for tags and collages. All right, there's the wallpaper. I just cut that out. Some antique ledger. So you get a nice fold out there. This page I was going to add, but I didn't have enough room, and it's super thick. This was from a floral book. I think it's called a Victorian scrapbook, maybe? Victorian something. There's some handmade paper from Heather at Rose Hill Paper Cottage. Here's part of a postcard. Goodness gracious, I didn't realize I used that many postcards in here. I went postcard crazy, didn't I? Here's a piece of a postcard. Here's the pieces, the offcuts from like the pocket back here, and then this one. So that was that postcard right there, and I snipped that sucker. But you have some real pretty writing right there. So, and this was from this one. Right, so, and I didn't like this cover. The front of this postcard had some like hunting dogs on it, and I have a couple like that. And what I'm going to do with those is use them this exact same way, because I don't feel guilty about using them that way if I don't like the cover, or I don't think that many people will like the cover. Oh my gosh, it's a hunting dog cover. Yeah, I don't think it'll be severely missed, so I don't feel that bad. Usually I'll feel bad cutting a postcard, and I do not do it that often. But in that case, I made an exception. So this is some vintage French wallpaper. Just real pretty die cut. That one's gorgeous. And that's the other side of the other pocket, you know, with the French wallpaper. There's some ledger in here. And this one's folded, but this has some gorgeous script on it. So we got that. And again, this wallpaper is nice and thick and sturdy, so I'm not worried about it ripping as you go in and out of the pocket. Here's the other side of that French, you know, letter, copy letter, whatever. Antique French ledger. I have a hard time covering up any of this ledger. This is my absolute, I've had this ledger for 2 or 3 years, and I have such a hard time covering it up because I love the black stenciling on it. Oh, I forgot to put something in this pocket. I'm going to have to put something in this pocket. Hold on a second. Oh, sorry. Let me put a tag in there. So I didn't want to cover, like I said, I love this pocket. I mean, the pocket. I love the ledger. I did not want to cover it, so she can always cover her collage. Here's just a authentic French tag that I stuck in there. I knew I was going to forget a pocket somewhere. Of course I did. I'm always forgetting. Here's the other side of that French wallpaper. And I forgot another one. Look, well, I mean, technically, I don't know. So this is an envelope that I put on. This is the other side of that kind of Harlequin, blue Harlequin cardstock. But there's a pocket here. And there's one in here, and I'm going to stick a tag in this one just so she knows that's an opening as well. But that came out really, really good. This is the old envelope. Well, in the US, $18.99. I don't get that many pre-1900 envelopes. I got to go out of my way to get them. They don't just fall magically in my lap. So it's easy. It's almost easier for me to get French ones that are that age than American ones. So that's cool. They're a treasure whenever I find them. And some wallpaper. I did stamp all over the other side of this cardstock just to give it some extra oomph. And here's a wallpaper pocket. And here's just a little tag and another tag. I kind of didn't collage much on it because this pocket isn't gusseted, so it's thin. You can't stuff a lot in that. All right, now here's the other side of the ledger and the French book pages. Here's the antique French fabric squares, fabric samples. This is an original piece of mine that I got from France and that I scanned. Here's the other side of that fabric square that's glued on, so there's a little label there. And a little fabric, wallpaper. And here's the other side of the glassine pocket. I stuck this lady in there. She was just so pretty. This is a Tim Holtz piece. And on the other side is that invoice, just like the other one had. The, whoop. Try not to put my hand too much in there. That Band-Aid is so, it's distracting me, that Band-Aid is. The invoice from my area. Well, it was my hometown. I recently, well, not recently, I moved. But I used to live there. I'm like 15 minutes away now, so it's not that far. Okay, the yearbook page. French book page. This is just a little tuck. This is all like scanned. As you can see, this one, like, it's a little wonky. I don't know if the paper was, I'm thinking that the paper was cut wonky because the rest of it's straight. So I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at the original document that I printed. But there's a little side tuck right here. And this is like some scaled down dollhouse paper. I got it from England. I went on eBay because I wanted like wallpaper designs super small, because some of them, a lot of the patterns that I have, they're so big I can use them in journals, but it's so hard to like, it's so hard to see the full design. Like this is one. This one I have to do in pieces because it's a big medallion. It's hard to see the whole thing unless you use a full page. This one's good. Where's that? I'm trying to find that little, here we go. This is a good one because this one has flowers kind of scattered in different spots, so you can get a pretty good, pretty good layout with that one. But anyway, yeah, so if you're looking for any kind of really neat wallpaper designs, there's a lot on eBay. This is Antique German book page. And you can get them scaled down to different sizes. So that's one idea, and they'll professionally print it for you on nice, you know, thicker paper, so it's not thin copy paper, and it comes out looking really well. This is some antique fabric. All right, here's a double pocket. So in the first one, now it's getting like kind of hard because it's like chunky. All right, so the first pocket, I put the flinch cards. Right, and this one I put these labels, and they're really pretty because they're gold embossed. I did have to fold this one because I could not fit it anywhere in the journal without it hanging over the edge, and then it would have been mushed or squished when I, you know, when I tied it shut and mailed it. So I did have to fold that. Anyway, they're right there. Here's some pieces of lavender from my garden on just a little, this is just a regular cardstock cutout, nothing fancy there. This is folded in, so you have like a little flap here so she can glue the top and the bottom to make a pocket, or she could even cut it off if she wanted to use this and use it in another project. Here's a glassine bag with some goodies in it, a vintage glassine bag. And vintage wallpaper, and this is the greeting card, and I did cut the top of this one, so there's some extra space there. In the back, what did I put back here? Oh goodness. Okay, so here's a little, like the other journal, I had a acetate cameo, an acetate window. I had a bigger one in there, and I had a photo in there. This one I have just a little tag size. So we have that, and here's another piece of the copybook and a vintage photo. Oh, I had some more stuff. These are two pieces from some antique, they're antique ledgers, but they're this way. So they're kind of an odd shape, but this texture is really cool. This one is like typical smooth ledger. This texture is really cool. That's why I put that in there. Forgot about that. And that's all there is. So, thank you guys for watching. I'll have to put that in a second. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.